welcome back to School Coaching Point. So in this video we will discuss one important question from the topic continuity and differentiability. So this is the question in front of you, fx equals to sin x. Now in this question we will check the continuity of the given function fx equals to sin x. So before going to the continuity part, first of all we need to check whether the function is defined or not. So if function to defined hoy na nohoy prothomote ami check koribo lagibo. So আমি ফাংশনৰ কনসেপ্টলৈকে যাও আমি জানো in a function this set is represented by the domain. So এটোক আমি domain বুলি কও আৰু এই সেটটোক codomain বুলি কও codomain আৰু this is the function. Now in domain, so a function to fx equals to sin x. So আমি যদি x or if we take any real values of x, যদি x or আমি যি কোনো real values লও, real values means x should be the real number. For any real values of x in the domain, যদি আমি domainৰ যি কোনো real values of x লও, তেতিয়া হলে for that particular values of x we will get one particular image in the codomain for the given function fx equal to sin x. So আমি x or যি কোনো যদি real values লও, real values means any real number যদি আমি x or real number লও with respect to the given function in the domain, তেতিয়া হলে for that particular values of x we will get one particular image in the codomain. That means the function is defined for all real values of x. Defined for all real values of x মানে এই ফাংশনটো ডিফাইন হ'ব প্ৰত্যেকটা ৰিয়েল নম্বৰৰ কাৰণে। এতিয়া আমি next we will move to the continuity part. So in continuity we know that a function is said to be continuous if limit x tends to c f of x equals to f of c. যদি এই কন্ডিশনটো এক্সিস্ট কৰে, if the condition is exist for any function, that time we can say that the function is continuous at the point c. But for a trigonometric function, so jetia at the function trigonometric function dia thake, so what should be the definition? A definition to ami modify kori likhibo lagibo. We should write in the modified form. Then ami ki likhim limit h tends to 0 f of c plus h equals to f of c. Jodi he function to trigonometric function hoy tetia hole ami ei condition to use koru. Aru ei condition to keneke ahil, now I will give the explanation part. Now fx equals to limit x tends to c fx equals to f of c. Ei condition to ami janu. Now if we replace x by c plus h, ami ki korim x should be replaced by c plus h. Now when x is tending to c, so according to the definition x is tending to c. So when x is tending to c, that time h tending to 0. So what is the meaning? So here x is tending to c, x to c usor sabise. So x to c jiman usor sabibo, so h to 0 jiman usor sabibo. This is the meaning. X is tending to c, it means h is also tending to 0 because here x is tending to c. So ekdom last x to jodi ami c boli dhoru, tetia hole yato c ase yato c ase, ultimately a c to jodi ami left side e transpose koru, tetia hole h er value 0 hoy jabo. So meaning is what? If x is tending to c, that time h is tending to 0. Now ami a2 replacement korisu. So yate x or thai ami ki likhim f of x or thai likhim f of c plus h, aru limit x tends to c thai ami likhim h tends to 0 equals to f of c. So this is the definition. This definition we need to use for a trigonometric function. Now let's move to the main step. আমি that continuity part to আমি prove korim. So just now we proved that, just now we have explained that the function is defined for all real values of x. So function to jikono real values or karone defined hobo. Then ami thori lolo, suppose let c be any real number, c be any real number, c be any real number. So the interesting kotha to hol ki, if fx equals to sin x is defined for all real values, protekta real values or karone jodi function fx to defined hoy, তেতিয়ালে obviously c point to function to define hobo, karon c be any real number, ami c to eta real number boli dhori loisu. So c be any real number, therefore f of c kiman hobo sin c hobo, because fx is sin x, so simply replacing x by c, so f of c equals to sin c. Now limit h tends to 0 f of c plus h. So So why we need to find out these two parts? Because we know that from the definition of the continuity, limit h tends to 0, f of c plus h equals to f of c. যদি এই কন্ডিশনটো আমি প্রুফ কৰিব পাৰো তেতিয়াহলে আমি ক'ব পাৰো the function is continuous. So আমি f of c টো উলাইছো এতিয়া limit h tends to 0 f of c plus h উলাম limit h tends to 0. So fx is sin x, so f of c plus h hobo sin c plus h. Now we need to use the result for sin a plus b. Sin a plus b ami formula to use korim. So limit h tends to 0 sin a plus b. So here they have sin c cos h plus cos c sin h. So sin c cos h plus cos c sin h. So this is the result for the given formula. Now etia ami duta part of the limit to lom. Now we are taking the limit in both the part. So limit h tends to 0 sin c cos h plus limit h tends to 0 cos c sin h. Now limit h tends to 0 sin c we are considered as a constant. So sin c is a constant of cos h. So h tending to 0. So cos 0 means 1. So ekhinir value to hobo sin c. Similarly here also same. H tends to 0. So sin 0 means 0. So cos c into sin 0 it will be 0. Because cos c also we consider as a constant. So ultimately sin c plus 0 we will get sin c. So limit h tends to 0 f of c plus h also sin c, f of c also sin c. That means we can write at last limit h tends to 0 f of c plus h equals to f of c. That means the function is continuous at the point c. Now এটা ইন্টারেস্টিং কথাটো হল কি c পয়েন্টৰ আমি কন্টিনিউয়াস বুলি প্রুভ কৰিলো এটা c এটা ৰিয়েল নাম্বাৰ b any arbitrary real number. So c পয়েন্টৰ যদি ফাংশনটো কন্টিনিউয়াস হয় it should be continuous everywhere because c b we consider as arbitrary real values of x, any arbitrary value. So c point of continuous mane it should be continuous everywhere. So in the next video also I will bring one important question from the topic continuity and differentiability. Thank you.